Hello everyone, and welcome to the Devil Dog Day Trade community. If you haven't seen one of our sessions yet, my name is Michael, and I want to thank you for joining us here as we work together to own our financial goals. We don't need professionals to do this work for us. My goal is to help you learn the essential structure you need to day trade successfully. So first thing, just having a trade plan and following it increases your success exponentially. I can't say this with enough emphasis. It really matters that you have one and that you follow it. What is in it is not nearly as important as having it. I've seen people with completely opposite trade plans trading the exact same thing, and both of them are being successful because they have the plan and they're following it correctly. When you try and wing things or just change it on the fly, that's when you dramatically reduce your chances for success. First thing is to keep it simple, right? Trade plans are almost entirely subjective. So my trade plan that I have is not necessarily going to work for you, but we are going to go over some of the areas that we need to keep in mind as you create the rules that will work for you. How do we keep it simple? First thing, one page. First trade plan I created was, I think, about 5 pages long. And within like the first day or so, it got so difficult to go in and try and find the rule I was looking for that I stopped using it. So again, keep it simple, keep it to one page. And then the next one, print it out and put it on your desk. I know that seems a little odd in this day and age of electronics and easy access to everything online, but I'll tell you, if you can't find your rule within about a second of you seeing a potential trade, chances are you're not going to use it. So it's right there. You can pick it up, you can find it quickly, put it right back down, and then you're good to go because you know what your actual trade was. So some of the areas where we think that are important for you to consider are environmental factors, what you trade, and then finally the rules that we create from the data points that we collected in our data zone tracker. So the first one, environmental factors. And that's basically where and how you trade, where you're going to trade at. Will you only trade at your house? Will you be able to trade on the road when you're over visiting someone else's house, or even potentially in your own house if you have visitors there? And the reason why that matters really is when you get into how you're trading is the platform that you're using. Will you use a desktop platform only? Will you use the web version of whatever broker that you're using? Will you be able to use their mobile version? Depending on what your rules are, you may need access to data and information that is not available on the different platforms. So it becomes very important. If you need a specific piece of data before you place a trade and that information is not available on their mobile platform, then you know that you can't trade on the mobile platform. That would be just used for like tracking a trade while it's ongoing or just looking at the overall markets in general. The next one is what time of day. Will you trade only in the mornings, in the afternoon if you have a break, or in the evening after you get back from work, or will you be able to trade all day? So whenever time frames work for you, right? Whatever is time frame that you can focus on, or that you won't have distractions, that you can do it well. Those are the types of trades times of day that you'll be able to trade. I would recommend that even if you're one of the people like me who has a very wide open trading schedule, block some time off. You want a chance for your brain to be able to rest and to not be thinking, I might be missing a trade, right? It really does help out psychologically. And the last one here, I know, is you would think it's self-explanatory. Don't drink and trade, but all too often the temptation is very real. If you find it's very strong for you, and you're gonna, end of a day, you're gonna go relax some, flip your platforms over to either simulation or like a paper trade. So if the temptation is too great, you're at least not going to lose real money. What you're going to trade. Again, this one is start simple, right? And I usually recommend starting with 1 or 2 securities, whether that be something in the futures market or an ETF or a couple of stocks. But again, keep it simple. It allows you to create a trade plan much more quickly and allows you to build on it rather than trying to create something complex. And some of the things that you can use to pick what you're going to trade is start with what people around you are trading, or people that are trading. or even something like the volume of something. As an example, if you're going to trade, index markets in the futures area, you want to start with something like ES, which has a very, very high volume. So it means it's more predictable, it's easier to understand, and there's a lot more data points there for you to use. Time frames, again, start with a small number of time frames. My recommendation is the same ones that we use, typically speaking, right? Your daily, your 240, your 60, and your 15. Start with those and then build up from that. As you get comfortable in those areas and you start building rules there, then you can expand that out to different time frames. Then we get to our rules from the data that we collected. And you want to start doing your data analysis there. And the first thing you have to look for is how many data points are you going to require before you can make a rule change. My recommendation, the bare minimum, is 30 data points. I personally try and use about 100 before I make a change to my rules, because I want them to be very, very solid. I want to make sure that I'm very confident in that rule change, that I don't try and go back and worry about whether I made a good rule change or not. Now, that has to be a little bit flexible, because there's going to be some time periods where you won't be able to do that. As an example, right, you're not going to get 30 daily supply zones that you'll be able to look at in a short period of time, right? That could take you several years to get to. So just keep that in mind for higher time frame things like daily or weekly. You might only have a few data points to use, but again, just make sure that you balance that out and you're getting multiple data points from other areas. And then you're actually going to get into your real analysis from the dashboard view of your data tracker. And that's things like context, right, trend, your time of day, the type of zone you have, and then other odds enhancers. And what you're going to want to do there is do the correlations between them. And the easiest one to do is the trend one, right? So you look at your win percentage based on what trend state you are. And generally speaking, what I've found is counter trend trades you lose a lot on. And so like one of the last data sets I had a win rate of like 11% on counter trend trades and a win rate of like 60-some% with the trend. So that's very simple. I can make a rule with that. No counter trend trades, right? And I can right there eliminate 90% of my losses in that particular area. So look at those different data points, different correlations, and the ones that jump out that give you a higher win rate, add those to your overall rule set. And again, I'm going to summarize here and leave it with just having the trade plan really does increase your success exponentially. Have a trade plan, keep it simple, keep it easily accessible, and you will be shocked at how much more profitable you are. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this discussion, please leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit the like button if you liked the lesson. I hope you'll join us for our next episode, which will discuss the difference between the tracking data to create these rule sets and tracking the trades themselves. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming learning videos. Thanks again for joining us, and I hope to see you soon.